Hello, everyone. I am Carissa Wiley here for Pink Fresh Studio, and we are going to craft live today. I see you all over in the chat there already. I'm so excited you could be here because we're going to have a great time. My friend Jody's here, and Kathleen is behind the Pink Fresh Studio badge today. So everybody's here. Gang's all here, folks. We're going to have a great time. I'm going to be creating a card featuring the Blooming Grace stamps, coordinating stencils and dies today. We're going to make something really beautiful. I kind of planned it out ahead of time, and I'm really excited about that. But before we get to that, I have so much to share with you because we have giveaways today, as always. Two $50 Pink Fresh Studio gift cards for those of you who are chatting along in the live. We'll give those away at the end of the live. So the way that you enter is that you just chat along in the comments. You can ask questions. You can answer other people's questions. You can share this video in an email, in a text message, or on a Facebook group if that's allowed. And you can come back here and let us know you shared it. And then that is another entry to win. Also, this is not an entry, but if you want to go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, we would appreciate that. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications here if you have not already. We go live every Tuesday and we have a great time. The audience here at Pink Fresh Studio is such a gracious and kind and friendly audience, and we so appreciate you all being here. Now, if you're watching on the replay, don't worry. We got you covered too, because we are going to give away two $50 Pink Fresh Studio gift cards to those who are watching on the replay. Just leave a comment in the comments section and we will choose a winner and we will notify you. So thank you so much for being here, whether you're on the replay or in the live chat. We appreciate all of you. A couple of things I want to tell you about today at 2 p.m. Central Time, and Kathleen can tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, but we're doing an unboxing of the Cards for Him event products. So I know a lot of you have been wondering about all of these products that are going to be in the Cards for Him event. And we are going to be sharing that today. And I don't think I'm mistaken that it's at 2 p.m. Central Time here on the Pink Fresh Studio YouTube channel. Hi, Julie. Hi, Amy Sunshine. Hi, Teresa and Karen and Sherry. Cheryl, all of you that are here, thank you so much. I'm excited to craft with you. A couple other things, 20% off studio essentials today over at Pink Fresh Studio. So if you're over there shopping and you need some studio essentials, which includes things like blending brushes, the brass embellishment tray, the tweezers that we all love so much, all of those things are on sale, 20% off. So be sure you don't miss that sale. And finally, one more, there's a big clearance section up to 75% off for the clearance. I mean, there are so many great products to be had there. So be sure you join us for the live event today of that unboxing. And oh, Kathleen, I did not know that. So I just see in the comments during the live stream of the unboxing of Cards for Him, we're giving away 2 spots for the event. So be sure you are there live if you can at all make it, because we're giving away 2 spots to the Cards for Him event, and I will be teaching at that event, so I hope you'll join us there. All right, are we ready to craft now that Carissa has talked her little heart out? By the way, I was away at an event last week, and doing a lot of teaching and stuff like that, and I lost my voice Sunday and Monday, and it's just now coming back, so we're gonna hope that my voice lasts through this entire live, because you can hear it kind of going in and out there. So hopefully we'll be okay. Also, I may have a contractor come in during the live today. They know to go and just do their work, but we're dealing with a mold issue in our bathroom. So if the dogs start barking, we'll just assume that the contractors came. Okay, so this is what we're looking at today. We're going to be using the Blooming Grace stamp set, which has a couple of beautiful large one-piece stamps along with a few great greetings. I love these. And originally, I thought I would use a greeting from another stamp set, but I thought, no, let's just keep it all in the family today. So we're staying right here with the Blooming Grace. We're also going to use the coordinating stencils, the coordinating dies. And I did pull out this washi because it is available in a washi as well. And this is a beautiful gold foiled washi. I have it on some vellum here, but you can get a whole roll of this. The rolls of washi have like over 40 panels of each of this design on them, and the dies do coordinate with the washi. So if you pick up all four, you have so many options. Anyway, but today we're going to use the stamps because we want to make our own. We want to DIY our color combo. And I do have links to the products in the YouTube description below. So if you're looking for what we're using today, you can find it there. Now, I'm going to start with my stamping, and to be honest with you, I'm not quite sure what color I want these. I don't know if I want them gray or black, and so we may just leave our stamp in our Misty stamping tool, and if we want a darker image at the end, we can go back and stamp our image again. So I've decided that I know that this is like really the star of the show, this big cluster, and we're going to use that, but we're going to use it in a different way today. So I'm going to start out by stamping this other one-piece stamp set down here, or one-piece stamp down here. So there's two large one-piece stamps, and Pink Fresh Studio has kind of redesigned the washi sets in order to be able to fit within your Misty stamping tool and also on your die cutting plates. So this makes it so much easier. Before they were super long and like would hang out, and you could do some tricks with your Misty, but now it's really easy because we've kind of just broken them up into two large one-piece stamps. So they're still easy to stamp a bunch of images at once and die cut them, but it all fits, you know, it just works. So how's everybody doing today? It is a beautiful day in California. It's supposed to be like 86 degrees today, which if you were here a couple weeks ago, I was complaining it was too cold, but that's just too hot. So California, get your act together. I'm starting out by mounting this stamp in my Misty stamping tool, and I am going to ink this up with Rocky Slope ink, and we're going to stamp it onto some white cardstock. This is Hammermill smooth white cardstock. I have a bunch of it in my stash. I bought like an insane, ungodly amount at one time, and so I have a lot that I'm working through in my stash. Double-sided adhesive. Jenny says, hey, Carissa, your idea of making double-sided adhesive A2 foam sheets for cards has been a game changer for me. Actually, yeah, I learned that from a friend, so I can't take total credit, but yeah, it's been great. And I do have a video over on my YouTube channel showing how you can, oh my Lord, my son is here, how you can make those A2 panels yourself. Do you see Preston Wiley in the chat? Everybody say hi to Preston. I have to scroll back up and read. He says, these are perfect. I'm going to buy them for my mom. Well, honey, you can save your money because I already own them. Everybody say hi to Preston. That's my son. And I adore him. So I doubt he can stick around the whole time because he's a very busy boy. But I'm so glad he popped in. So Rocky Slope, this is a brand new stamp. I haven't stamped it before. So I'm going to go ahead and ink it up a second time and just stamp again. You know that whole measure twice, cut once. This is ink twice, stamp twice. So anyway, that was such a surprise. So I'm so glad he's here. He's adorable, by the way. Love that boy. Miss him. He's in Oklahoma for those of you who are in Oklahoma. All right. So it looks like we got a really beautiful image. The Rocky Slope is the second color in the kind of gray family. Now, I'm not going to move my stamp because if I want to stamp in black again over the top of this at the end, I can. It's the second color. So you can go lighter with this if you wanted to by using Misty Coast. Totally up to you. For my ink blending today, I am going to use a sticky mat. So I'm going to put that on my work surface and I'm going to place my cardstock right onto that. And that's going to hold that in place. Thank you all for saying hi to Preston. And the benefit of saying hi to Preston also, all of you, is that that's another entry into the giveaway at the end. So anyway, we're going to start. These stencils are in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, they are in order. And I'm going to show you this. So on these new stencils, because we have the one-piece stamps, the 2 one-piece stamps, and the 2 one-piece dies, we have the stencil all in one, but there is a, do you see this line that goes across? That divides the 2 areas of the stencil to coordinate with the 2 one-piece stamps. So we're going to start by just lining this up, looking down through the stencil and just shifting it until it looks about right. And then we will place it down. And then this is going to be held in place by the sticky mat. If you're feeling a little uncertain, then, you know, tape it down, but I'm going to hold it in place with my sticky mat. Today, I have decided to use a color palette that's probably familiar for you with me. It's got oranges and pinks. I'm using an orange that I don't normally use, the Sunkissed and the Mimosa, but we're going to make it more orange heavy. So I'm going to show you how using a color palette that's pretty common for me can be shifted just a little bit by making one of them more your focal color. So let's start out, let's use 1-inch blending brush. And I'm going to start out with these large flowers here, stencil 1, and I'm going to blend them in Sunkissed ink. So just going to tap into my ink here and just blend over the top here. I'm going to go not super heavy with this ink, because while I do want this palette to be orange heavy, I don't know that I want it to be in your face orange. And so I'm just gonna, I'm very much bull in a china shop, but I'm gonna try not to be. I'm gonna go against my normal instincts. Okay, so that is stencil number 1, and I'm just gonna wipe it down with a dry cloth before I remove it so I don't get ink on my fingers. And we'll peel this up and we'll move on to stencil number 2. So, Christy says, I'm not a huge fan of orange, but I really do like those 2 oranges. Yes, there is a great variety. Actually, I think I choose peach fuzz and apricot more than I choose the Mimosa and Sunkissed. I love the softness of peach fuzz. So I did try to break out a little bit from what I normally use. We're going to move over here, and I think we're going to move to our blues, and we're going to use Ocean Breeze for our first layer here. So this will be our lighter in the 2 colors. And so I'm just going to, again, tap my brush and ink up the flowers. Now, I kind of just let my stencils do all the hard work for me. I don't overthink my blending. I do try to get lighter areas and darker areas, but I'm not super fussy about my blending. You can definitely take more time, and there are some people who do some really beautiful blending. But today I'm just gonna allow myself to enjoy the process and not overthink it. Yes, Kathleen says, I feel like these oranges are a great option for those who don't usually like orange. I do too. I think they're fun. And this is going to be a fun card. My whole inspiration for this was like normal color palette, but pop it, you know? So that's kind of where we're going to go with this, and kind of shift it by bringing in the orange in a heavier concentration than I normally would. So normally I would probably make those larger flowers pink because that's just what I lean into usually. But today we're going to go into an orange heavy one. Yeah, the Ocean Breeze is a really beautiful blue, Ilya. Yes, so anyway, orange and blue, great combo. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so now we're moving into these little buds, and this is where we're going to move into our pink. So pink is going to be kind of backstage to the orange today. I'm going to move to Cherry Blossom and a 1/2-inch blending brush because I can. These are very small images. And you can see that even though there are 6 different stencils in this set, it really does go pretty quickly, especially if you're using just like one side of the stencils, if you're not doing both of the one-piece stamps. So, all right. We're still talking about Preston in the chat. I love that. That was just such an unexpected bright spot in my day. Okay, so now we are moving into some greenery, and stencil number 4 starts out our greenery for us. And the etched line in this, it's really interesting because if you hold this up to your washi tape, you can see this floral grouping is in the other stamp, but it kind of comes down into the plane of stamp number 2, which means the stencil kind of comes down in there. So the etched line actually goes, I'm going to draw it for you here. It goes here, and then it goes down to here, and then up to here. So we're just looking at this lower part here to get that lined up. Let's see. So we're going to look down through the stencil again, and you can see it kind of just, when you get something where you like it, I kind of look at some of the bigger images first and then shift around, and then I'll place that down. Now, if you wanted to mask this because you were concerned about it, you could. But this little piece here, I'm going to die cut all of these, and so I'm not really worried about, you know, getting some green in there. But we're going to, remember we said normal color palette, but pop it. We're going to pop it with some Citron and bay leaf. And I used these greens a couple weeks ago, but I think they're just really fun. Hello, Jamie. Hello, Fanny. Welcome. I'm so glad you could all be here. I'm going to ink up here, and I can feel my voice getting a little weaker as we go. So we'll hope that it just hangs in there for us. We'll see. Okay, so just a quick whoosh of color there with the Citron. We'll wipe again, and then we will remove stencil number 4. We're already through stencil number 4. Awesome. And then stencil number 5. So stencil number 5 starts our, oh, you know what? I did not realize that there is not a detail layer for the greenery. So, and I missed a piece, so I'm glad we're going back. But let's add some shading with the bay leaf. So Citron, I forgot to ink this. Look at me. And then bay leaf. Let's go into bay leaf. And we will use a 1/2 inch blending brush for this. And we're going to bring in some darkness towards the base of the leaves just to give it a little variation, because our florals will have variation with the shadow layers. And so we're going to pay a little more attention to this. And we got some floral centers here, which we could do in a different color if we wanted to. We'll see how it looks when we pull this off. I just want there to be lights and darks. And so I'm going to just, I'm not bringing it into every single leaf, but I am kind of concentrating towards the base. And if you even wanted more contrast, you could step up to Spanish moss. All right. Kathleen says she thinks she forgets the exact same spot. You're just like looking at this area, and he's up here. So it's easy to miss. So don't miss that. Learn from our mistakes, right? Okay. So let's see what we have here. Talisa Ink is here. Hi, welcome. So glad you could make it. Yeah, Jill, the shading really does add a lot of dimension. And if you don't have a stencil layer that creates like the details for you, then you get kind of this, you know, move into that darker color. It really makes it nice. I feel like, did I miss a stencil? Did I put, oh, I put one to the side. I was like, oh my goodness. All right, so this is stencil number 5, and I'm just going to line it up. It looks like it needs to come inside of that floral there. Sorry if you're seeing my head, but we got to get things in the right place, right? So for those of you who follow me on Instagram, you'll know this, but our shower is currently ripped out. Well, not the shower itself, but the surround. So this morning I had to get up and shower in my daughter's bathroom. Thankful that we have a second bathroom. That makes it, you know, obviously much nicer. But, you know, it felt like I was camping, like taking my stuff into a whole nother room to get my shower in this morning. Okay, I don't think I have a 1/2 inch blending brush for orange. Okay, something I want to point out to you is I have my detail layer for these pink blooms here, and I also have the detail layer for these oranges. So there's a few places that you maybe just want to be aware of. And so the way I'm going to do this is I'm just going to stick my fingers over these while I blend the orange in here. I know this is like really a lazy method of doing this, but it saves me just the trouble of kind of, you know, masking and all of that. So I'm just going to put my finger over the pink areas that I don't want to get. There's one right here too, but I have my fingers over most of them. I'm going to blend that in and I'm going to peek at it. I'm going to see, I might have gone a little heavy with this orange. Oh no, I kind of like it. See that? Oh, it looks so good. Okay, so now that we have the orange down, then we're going to move into the shading on the pinks. Now, I don't want to get orange in my pink, but I don't care if I get pink in my orange, and hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. So I'm going to use Coral Reef. These are not from the same family, but they can still work together, and they look fantastical together. But I'm going to choose a little bit deeper blending brush for this. And I'm going to go in here, and we're going to add those detail layers in on the pink blossoms. Again, I don't care if I get pink in my orange, but I do not want orange in my pink. It's kind of funny, but that's just the way things work sometimes. Okay, yeah, I really wanted a color palette that was like spring, that felt springy. I'm trying to bring the spring today. Hi, Sue. Glad you're here. You can be late. It's okay. We got things going on in our lives. That happens. Finally, stencil number 6, which is our last stencil in the set. I'm going to just line this up, and this is going to be our darker blue, which is Aquamarine. Now, Aquamarine, she's intense. So we're going to go light at first. We're going to just kind of not bull in a china shop it. We're going to just be real gentle at first with that Aquamarine. We'll peek. If we want more, we can get more. But if we put all of our ink down and we do it really intense at first, we can't take that color away. So we'll just, like I said, we'll just be gentle with her. Then I'm going to just peeky. I think that's good enough. Here. I don't know if you can hear my voice going, but I can feel it going. So, oh, look at that. Okay, so here's where we choose our own adventure. While I'm cleaning up my blending brushes, you guys let me know in the comments, do you think we should leave it with the gray outline as it is? Or do you think we should go bold and modern and put a black outline on that? Karen Walker says, another beautiful color palette, Carissa. Thank you so much. My hope is to inspire you to break out. And like I said, this is going to be a much more orange heavy color palette. They're the same colors I generally use, but we're using them in different concentrations. And that can really make the same colors feel very, very different. And so hopefully that will inspire you to maybe pull out a palette you're familiar with, but push it a little heavier in one direction. So black, gray, it's spring. Black, I don't know, you guys better decide. Small spots makes the image pop. Yeah, so much. Okay, let's do black, gray, black, gray. Ooh, I'm having a hard time with this one. Gray, gray, and springy. Gray, but stamp it again. Okay, let's try gray and stamp it again. And then if we don't like that, we can do black. Tammy, I like the way you think, girl. So we're gonna put this right back in. So weird. It's like I can feel a raised area on that. We're gonna put it right back into the corner where we started. We're gonna just look through, make sure it looks good. Yep. We will grab Rocky Slope. Does Pink Fresh have an equivalent to mushroom? You know what? I think, Melissa, that you would really like Metropolis. It's one step darker than Rocky Slope. It is not quite as dark as Licorice. We're going to use it today for our sentiments, so you'll see it in living color. My daughter came out the other day. Okay, did any of you watch In Living Color when you were younger? Or maybe you were older? I don't know. Anyway, I used to watch In Living Color, and of course they had the Fly Girls that danced. My daughter came out in a pair of pants the other day and a little crop top. And I was like, you look like a fly girl. And she's like, what's a fly girl? I'm like, oh, they were these dancers in the 90s, and they wore these like, you know, low slung pants. Anyway, did any of you watch that? Rocky Slope makes me want to go hiking. Okay, so that's Rocky Slope, and I've stamped it a couple more times. I do think I like that. So we'll just leave it there. We will leave it there. Christy says she did, and Kim watched it. J-Lo, Jenny, yes. It probably was not the most appropriate show for me to be watching at that time, now that I think about it. But anyway. All right, so we have our images, and now we're going to do some die cutting. So I have a second panel of white cardstock here. I have also the double stitched rectangles here, and I'm going to use the third one in. We're going to cut this panel here. Is it this one? Maybe it's this one. See. No, I want to use the second one. I had kind of played with some scrap paper earlier, so we're going to do this one. So the second one down, and then we're also going to line up the coordinating die on the other. Let's see if we can, this is gutsy here, but should we run it all through at one time? I don't know. We may regret it. Nah, let's not. Let's do our rectangle first. So the double stitched rectangles, this is just a great way to add a little detail piece onto a mat for your card. Yeah, the oranges and blues are really pretty. It makes it a little less uncomfortable for you to shift a palette like we're doing today. So making it more heavy in one area, like it might be a palette you normally use, but making it a little heavier in one color might be a more comfortable way for you to step out of your comfort zone than to try to change the whole thing, right? Warm Buff is my go-to for quite a few outlines. Yeah, that makes a great outline as well. Okay, now we have the coordinating die. We got to get it going in the right direction. And I'm going to line that up. And I want to make sure my stems are in a good spot. And it looks like they are. So I'll just run this through my die cut machine. And we will die cut this. We're doing really good on time, by the way. BT dubs. So glad you guys like the colors. And we will just pop all these out. Okay. Beautiful. And I love, there's something about when a die cuts like the little pieces out of the center. Like, look at this. Look at this. See how all those little pieces are cut out of the centers? Love that. It just makes it feel so special. Okay. All right, so we have that all taken care of, and we're going to do some more stamping. So Let me just make sure that this is the right size. I'm not going to show you what I have over here because I don't want to ruin it, but yes, it is the right size. Okay, so let's put these to the side. We're going to bring our Misty stamping tool back in. Carissa, what inspired you to make this card? Spring inspired the color palette. And I was just trying to think of a way to use some of these smaller images in a new way. And I honestly, sometimes I look at inspiration from the design team, but I also don't want to copy their cards, so I'm kind of careful about it. I saw them being used in a lot of the same ways, and I thought, what can I do to make these feel different than the cards that I've seen? And so we're going to actually create like a fun little border with these images going across the card. I'm not sure if someone did it. Somebody might have done it. I don't know. But that's just kind of how my mind rolled. And honestly, you don't have to stamp and die cut all of these. Sometimes when I'm figuring out if something will work, I will take the die cut it out of some plain white cardstock and use those little die cut pieces to see if it's going to work for what I'm thinking in my head before I like stamp and do all the things, right? So that's kind of where all of this kind of came together. I'm going to take this other large stamp. It has the big kind of what we would maybe think of as this focal image here, the big cluster. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to place it kind of right up here towards the upper corner of this rectangle that we've die cut. And I'm going to put it in my Misty stamping tool. Let's see, maybe like there-ish. Okay. And then I'm going to close this down and pick up that stamp. Now here's the deal. This is a one-piece stamp, but you don't have to stamp everything when you stamp it. If you just need this guy, just ink up that guy. And in fact, let me put something under there so you can see what I'm doing as I'm doing it. I'm going to put this piece of cardstock, and it's still kind of hard to see where the cluster kind of ends. But this is the large cluster here, and these are the three kind of supporting characters. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to ink up this cluster here. Now you can do it with a large ink pad and just be very careful, or you can do it with an ink cube if you have that. So I'm going to use the ink cube because it'll be a little bit easier, but I'm just going to ink up that one floral cluster, and we're going to stamp it in the upper left-hand corner as kind of a background piece, some textural elements on our card. One of my favorite ways to use larger floral stamps is kind of as a background, and it doesn't have to cover the whole background for you to use it as a background. So then we will we will stamp this onto our card front. I'm using my little stamp pressure tool. Yeah, oftentimes if you aren't sure that something's going to work, I do recommend die cutting it out of some plain white cardstock, seeing if the arrangement in your head is going to come together or if it's going to fit, and then kind of moving on from there. I feel like we need a little more ink in a couple areas, so I'm just going to ink again and stamp again. Okay, boom. That is beautiful. Just a really graphic element. And I really wanted this card to feel modern, which is kind of why we're going with bright colors. We're going to do some things that maybe you haven't thought of before. I don't know, unexpected way to kind of layer some things up. Maybe it's not unexpected. Maybe I'm making that all up. Anyway. Lysiane, I hope I'm not saying your name wrong, says, thank you for your explanation. I'm always happy. I'm here to teach. And so I hope you guys all walk away with feeling like I learned something new today. Or I remembered something that I had been taught in the past. And now I'm going to go be inspired to try it. Okay. I have a scrap of white cardstock here. And while we have our Misty stamping tool out, we might as well just do our sentiment. And this is where you're going to see Metropolis. I hope this is big enough. If it's not, then we will make our lives, we'll get another piece. How many brushes do you need? Seeing all the beautiful inks that Pink Fresh has. You can just do, you can do whatever you want. You can use just one brush and like clean it in between. A lot of people do like one per color family. So they'll do one for their pinks, one for their oranges, one for their yellows, one for their oranges. Some people do one for their light oranges and one for their dark oranges, one for their light pinks and one for their dark pinks. So it's just up to you. You can start out with a couple and you could say, maybe I need more, and then you add more later. That's totally okay. So this is that Metropolis that I was talking about. We're going to stamp our sentiment in this. And I'm just stamping it. Oh, I just blooped that out. Okay, we're going to have to grab another scrap piece anyway, but that's okay because I have a whole little drawer here where I sort out my scraps and I keep them for things just like this. So this is what we're going to do. Thank you. Karen says you always have great tips. Thank you. Vincent says your explanation is so good. Thank you so much. The combination of gray and your colorful images is very beautiful. Thank you. Oh, you're all so kind. That's what I was talking about earlier. This is a very kind community, and I really always love being here because you are all just so gracious and so kind. I'm going to ink up this stamp again. This time I'm going to just be like, you know, I'm going to be a little less Carissa, a little more delicate. I'm not even like pushing. I'm just kind of tapping. We'll see what we got. That was not beautiful, so we'll do it again. And we'll go again. Just a tad bit of pressure, just like rolling over the top basically. And that is looking pretty good. Let's see. One particular spot. Okay. Let's move my Misty. I think I'm done with my stamping now. So let's grab the coordinating die. We'll go ahead and die cut this out and then we can start putting things together. Let's see, great idea to cut out before doing all the stencils and then finding out your idea didn't work. Yeah, and if you think you need it stamped first, just stamp it on some scrap cardstock, then cut those out before you do your stenciling, and then you can restamp and do your final images later. It just kind of, if you're not sure if something's going to work and you don't want to go through all the trouble without knowing first, that's a great way to do it. Papaya's here. Hi, Paya. Welcome. I do like Metropolis. Yeah, it's a great, it's like gray. It's a nice gray. It really is warm. Question, how do you organize your scraps, especially since you work with different brands of cardstock and paper? So I organize all of my cardstock. Let me go to my face. Do you see my cardstock back here? This is not all my cardstock. I have way more over there, but they're in magazine holders. And for each magazine holder, I have a paper, one of those paper pockets, like a page protector. And so that page protector has the company and the name of the cardstock. And so I'll take a piece of cardstock out, I'll cut it down. Those cut down pieces go in the page protector in front of that stack of cardstock and act like a divider for the cardstock. And then I know I can grab small pieces of that color out of the page protector when I need them. So hope that makes sense. I vacuumed earlier and now he's vacuuming. Should I tell him? Oh, I don't know, Beth. Maybe let him feel good about what he's doing. Lori says if you rub your brush really good on a paper towel between colors, you can kind of get away with fewer brushes. I agree. So that's all up to your preference. So, let's see where I'm at. I've lost, okay. In addition, I have taken the metallics cardstock and I did not die cut. I trimmed this very thin silver glitter strip and we're going to use that. I also have a few layers of the You Brightened My Day sentiment die cut out of white cardstock. And this is what I'm going to do. I actually have this kind of, this is where I pre-planned, which I don't always do. And we're going to go like this. We're going to start building kind of this border across the bottom of our card. So it's going to be towards the bottom. We're going to pop it up in the end. So it will have some dimension. We're going to put him here. Let's see, kind of like that. And then we're going to go here with the pink. There-ish. Okay. And then we're going to go with the blue over here. Maybe just like that. So kind of this dancing border down here. So you can kind of play with it a little bit. I actually, like I said, I played with a few pieces ahead of time, so I kind of took a picture of that because I knew live you probably wouldn't want to watch me fuss with all that. So let's zoom you in. Shall we zoom? Let's zoom. Let's see. There you go. Now we're cooking with gas. Okay. We're going to straighten this out just a little bit because it looks a little lower over here than it does over here. Kind of, it won't be straight, right? Because it's obviously uneven, but you know, we'll get it as close as we can. That's neat. Love the big brushes. They are truly magic. Yes, they do put down a nice, like what I would call a whiff of color, and you can build up the color. All right, so there we go. What a perfect idea. I'm loving this. I love that you love this. Hello, Carissa. Just catching the end of the live. Hello, Cheryl. Okay, I'm trying to peel off a piece of tape as I read. I have some very low tack tape and I'm pulling off a piece. And what I'm going to do is I am just going to lay this across now that I have everything where I want it. And I'm going to pick these all up in one piece. I do have a little leaf here. I could maybe tuck that in, but let's just do this for now. We're going to grab, so someone mentioned earlier, can't remember the name, so sorry. Someone mentioned about the foam panels, and I use those a lot, but sometimes I need to trim them down, and so I keep those strips of foam adhesive from my foam panels, and I use them for my foam. So I don't let anything go to waste as far as that's concerned. Now I need to make sure that I'm putting my foam adhesive where it's not going to show through the openings of this second floral cluster because it has some openings kind of towards the inner part of the flowers. So I'm just making sure. This is also going to kind of adhere all these pieces to each other as I, you know, overlap the foam from one floral cluster to another. So we're just going to let it kind of adhere everything together. And then we're going to be able to pick up all of this and adhere it in one fell swoop. Okay, I'm going to need another little strip. Sue says the tape across is a great idea. Yeah, if you haven't done that before, I have just changed your life. Life changing. Get it where you want it. Pick it up all with one. And even if you're liquid gluing this, you could pick it up, put the liquid glue on the back, put it down, and then pull off your tape. And that's exactly how we're going to do it today. I just want to make sure I get plenty of adhesive behind these pieces. And once I have it there, then we're going to start removing the backer from this tape. Man, that is so zoomed in. Do you guys like to be this zoomed in? You probably do. It's probably much easier to see. Yeah, I like to do this. It's great for letters too, like the alphas, the die cut alphas. You got to line that up on your grid mat and pick those up. Okay, so then I'm going to pick up this whole thing. Okay, and I think I said this before, but if you want something to be straight on your card, you better start with your card straight. So that's why I like a grid mat, because I like to like line it up with the grid lines. I'm going to hold it in place with a magnet because now I know I'm squared up on my mat, and I'm going to use this mat to kind of just make sure that I have everything where I want it. I'm holding it by the ends of the tape I'm looking down on. And then I'm going to just kind of place it down. Okay. Then you're committed with this kind of sticky foam adhesive because it's very sticky. Now I'm going to go. Now, if this was liquid glue, I would let it set for a minute and I would just kind of let the glue adhere, but this is foam tape. And so it adheres immediately and we can do that. Okay. So we have that down. This guy's flipping up. I don't care. He looks great. He looks great. Okay, so we're going to leave this here because it's going to help us with our next step. Our next step, well, let's figure out our greeting first. I'm going to zoom you out just a tiny, okay? Just a scotch, as some of y'all say. And then I'm going to just stack up these sentiments real quick. So 3 layers is what I have. You could do more, you could do less, whatever you want to do. And I'm going to just line them up with my fingers as I move throughout the layers. Let's see. Oh, we're doing so good on time. This is really not a complicated card. And you could do it with the washi as well. But by using the stamps and the stencils, you can pick your own color combo. So it's like choose your own adventure, right? Ta-da! Perfect. That's what Christy said. Yep, it is perfect. When you put it on like that, it just makes life grand. And like I said, if you're trying to do this and your card project isn't straight, you're going to end up crooked no matter what. So start with it straight. Okay, let's just give you a minute there. It's different than any card I've made. I'm going to try this method. It looks so pretty. I love that, Allison. Thank you. All right, everybody, right now, while we're waiting for stuff to dry and we're pondering, I would like for you to set your alarm for 2 p.m. Central Time. Join us for the live unboxing of the kit for the cards for him. Okay, we're going to put him, this is our sentiment, and then what I thought we would do is just have like this strip of silver glitter right across. So I think we can get away with, if you are here-ish, we do a lot of ish in this room, then we're going to do this. We could either leave these hanging off the edge, which I'm kind of digging, or we could trim them off to be even. Okay, so this is a very thin strip. It's a little bit unwieldy, if I'm being honest, because it's a little curled because of how thin I have cut it. So I'm just being very careful to kind of flip it over and put some glue along the back. Okay, so we should be good. We're going to do our best to put this straight. Again, our grid mat's going to help us with that. So we'll just go maybe down just a tiny, just like that. We're going to go boom, right across, just this little bit of shine that's going to catch the eye. Pulls in that gray that we're using throughout the card that we've repeated. The gray is repeated in not only in the background and these, but also again in a darker way here with this. And I think that that is going to be just perfect. It's so modern. I love it. Question, are there still openings for the man card class? Yes, Lizette, there are. Yes, and 2 p.m. Central Time, 1 hour after we end here, is when we are doing the live unboxing. I'm not doing it. It's when Pink Fresh Studio is having it. But join us for that. Okay, so let's trim this. Just like, I'm going to just trim it at the end of the florals and see if I like that. If I don't like it, then what we could do is just trim the florals even with our rectangle. If you have a strong opinion on how this should be done, then you let me know. But isn't that fun? This is a way to use glitter without it feeling like it's overwhelming, because sometimes if you use like a big piece of glitter cardstock, you feel like, oh Lord, that just took over the whole project. I love all your references to my childhood. I thought I was so much older than you, but now I'm hopeful you're closer to my age. Melissa, I just turned 45 yesterday. Yesterday was it was not yesterday. It was Sunday. Sunday was my birthday. I was turned 45. So here we go. We need to add this guy here. So I think we'll just do that because it already has some dimension. I think we'll just do it with some liquid glue. So we'll just put that where we need to here. And then this will go on a card base with some foam adhesive, this whole card front. Okay, so I'm going to float the My right above that glitter line there. So we're just placing that down, floating it right above the glitter line. And then if we wanted to, we could tuck this somewhere. It's just like this little leaf situation. But nah, I think we're good. Sometimes you got to walk away. Happy birthday. Thank you so much. You look so young. Thank you so much. I do. I'm feeling older this week. Just a baby. Happy birthday. Thank you so much. Let's see. Okay. So I think the white is like super modern and keeps this very clean and simple. And the thing I like about the white, I thought about doing like gray or something. But I just love how putting it on the white just makes all this pop of color and then all this gray. I think we're going to do white. So let's grab a panel of foam adhesive and I'm going to trim it down. And these are all those little scraps that I use for like on the back of the florals and stuff. Kathleen, I am almost done. So if you want to start choosing a winner for our two $50 gift cards today, we can do that. I don't think I'm going to do embellies on here because I think the glitter cardstock just holds its own for the sparkle. So those two little things that I pulled off or cut off there, I am going to keep for random little things. White is beautiful. White or blue. Yeah, I think I'm going to do white. White cardstock is perfect. So thank you. I kind of went back and forth. I thought, do I want to do a color? I really love. Now here's my question. Do we like the free edge? I think I like the free edge. Originally, I thought I would trim that all off, but I'm thinking I like it. I like the free edge, like the shaped edge. Just makes it, it gives it a little something, something. Okay, let's make sure this is straight before I go in here. And I put this on my card. Yep, we're looking good. Place it down. And there you have it. Isn't that beautiful? I love this. And as I mentioned before, we have to leave it over the edge now because I placed it down. So I'm glad you're voting, but I have no choice because trimming it off at this point would be dangerous. as I mentioned before, I've taken the same color palette that I normally use, but I've shifted it to where we have more orange and more blue than pink. Congratulations, Jamie Greene. You are the winner of today's first $50 gift card. You're going to email customer service at pinkfreshstudio.com to claim your prize and give 2 to 3 days to get back to you. And let's see who else. Dun, 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 dun. Drum roll, please. Let's see who our next winner is. And I will go ahead and go to a side-by-side while we do this. And I'll make sure Christi Redding, second winner. Woo! Congratulations. I'm so happy for both of you. Go pick up some studio essentials. They're 20% off with that. Love the silver strip. Thank you, Lori. I think this is a fun, modern card. Love all the gray. Love all the orange and the bright pops of blue. It just really, it captured what I was going for. So I hope you had a wonderful time here today. Don't forget, if you're watching on the replay, you're going to want to leave a comment in the comment section because we have 2 more $50 gift cards to give away to you who are watching the replay. If you have not already, set your alarm for 2 p.m. Central Time because we will be unboxing the card or the kit for the Cards for Him event, which is happening in May. There are still spots available for that event. So if you have not signed up already, I'll be teaching. I know Jennifer's there. I'm trying to go off the top of my head. Jeff Lindbergh's going to be there. There's several fabulous teachers. So be sure that if you want to jump in on that event, join us, sign up today. Don't wait because we don't want anything to sell out. And also we're giving away 2 spots to that event in today's live unboxing. So you want to make sure you join us there. I hope you will. Any other questions before I head out today? We've had a lot of questions. We've had a lot of chatting during this, and that makes me so happy to get all of your questions answered as we're doing this. All right, I'm not seeing any questions come in. So I just want to say again, thank you for being here. If you have not already, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications here on the Pink Fresh Studio YouTube channel. That way you'll be notified anytime we have a pre-recorded video or a live stream broadcast, and you won't miss your chance to win some fabulous prizes. Instructors are myself, Jennifer McGuire, Jeff Lindbergh, Yana Smalkula, Annette Gellenshire, and Kathleen. So fabulous lineup, and it's going to be a great event. I will see you soon, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.